Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thrive Park Presents and our free speaker series. For far too many women, menopause arrives with confusing physical and emotional changes that can lead even the most capable, smart and capable among us thinking, what is happening to me? Well, today, Marelda Rodriguez believes menopause is more than a health conversation, it's a leadership conversation. As a speaker, educator, and founder of Sovereign Becoming, she helps high-performing women navigate the biological, emotional, and identity shifts of midlife without losing themselves in the process. Now, through her work, she challenges outdated narratives and empowers women to lead this chapter of life with greater confidence, with discernment, and a sense of possibility. So please join us in warmly welcoming Marelda Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is great. And yes, I like to challenge, I like to disrupt, I like to stop the autopilot in our brains. And I love to, more than anything else, I love to stop the scroll. Um, so shall I just go ahead and get started here?
Please
Okay,
do.
all right. I just wanted to make sure that, we're all good for that. All right. Well, welcome everyone. I am delighted that you have decided to spend a few minutes of your day with us. And one of the things in my world of menopause and listening and talking to women and listening to the complaints in various groups that I see, and nothing wrong with complaining because you have to raise your voice about something. So, complaint is not necessarily a bad word. It is something that you want to either feel seen or heard, or you want to raise the alarm on something that's not working for you, and that's all good. Now, in all these conversations, one of the things I've been seeing is a set of themes that emerge where women mistake one thing for the other. And one of the biggest things I have seen a confusion around is women confusing their capacity for their capability. And they're two completely different things, and you are going to see the difference. And once you see it, my goal as a disruptor is once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You just cannot. So the ripple effect is that you change conversations in your world. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy slideshow here just so that I can keep the conversation focused and not go wandering off into the pastures because this can get very big very quick. So I'm just putting this on here. That's not going to. All right. All right, everybody see my handy dandy screen here?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm going to jump right into the presentation, which means that once I do this, I will not be able to see any questions in the chat. So I will make the presentation and then I will come off the presentation and then we can have a bit of a conversation. How's that?
That sounds great.
All right. Okay, so rebuilding your capacity during menopause. My name is Marelda Rodriguez, and I am a menopause coaching specialist. I'm also a functional medicine certified health coach. And all that just means is that I help women simplify complex health conversations that their doctors may have spewed somewhere or they're reading in books and they don't know how to apply it to their life. I believe in making things really simple. And so when I feel that that's my superpower is because I'm such a science nerd and a body nerd. I've been studying the body, believe it or not, since I was 5 years old. I just couldn't get behind. I love fairy tale books; those were great too. But what held my attention was any book about the body, anything about diseases. I was in it. So my goal here is to simplify some things and help you hopefully see how you can directly apply them into your life. So let's go. Let's go. Little slide presentation. All right. So you are in the right place if you are currently experiencing multiple health transitions. They can seem weird. They can seem like they're coming out of left field. One day you're feeling one thing, the next day you're feeling another thing. And what feels really uncomfortable is that they are unpredictable health transitions. So things you've never seen before. You don't even know how to explain it. You don't even know how to tell your spouse or your kids about it. Um, the exhaustion, there is a very specific type of exhaustion that sets in and kind of almost seems like it's winding its way around your muscle fibers one at a time. And no matter what you try to do to sleep or rest or take a bath or whatever it is, that exhaustion seems to follow you everywhere. Your healthy habits or what you thought was eating healthy or I do this or that to stay healthy just isn't giving you the results that you used to see. Maybe you're gaining weight in areas that you never even imagined you could gain weight, or your eating habits might have changed, or your sleeping habits might have changed. And so whatever it is that got you to where you were healthy pre-menopause is no longer delivering. And work and life feel increasingly crowded. So the same thing in premenopause, you were chugging along, you were doing the things, you were here, you were there, you were with your kids, you were with your job, you were with your family gatherings, and it all seemed to somehow fit into your schedule. Yes, maybe you were stressed and tired, but you were able to manage that load, which now feels really hard. So you're doing the work, and then something has changed. So it's not that you've become less capable. It's because here's what capability is. Let's just define it really quick. Capability is what you have, your intelligence. So it's not like these transitions suddenly made you less intelligent. You have your experience, whether it's your experience as a manager, as a um, caregiver to your family, or you are a mom with, lots of responsibilities. Your experience hasn't changed. Your ambition, if you wanted to go, not like you've become less capable. Um, you have your intelligence, you have your experience, you have your ambition, your sense of judgment. You're still able to discern for yourself. You're able to make judgments, decisions for your family. And so that capability has not changed. So capacity is not capability, or capability is not capacity. So capability is your knowledge, your experience, your skills, your judgment. Your capacity, on the other hand, is your energy, focus, your resilience, your recovery. These things might have been taking a hit in these midlife transitions as your health is transitioning from premenopause to perimenopause. These things start to become unpredictable, shaky. You thought you were one way, but it's happening another way. So capability is different than capacity. And so simply said, what you can do is not what you have available today. So even though you were capable in so many different ways, you may not have the same energy to do all the things you're capable of. And menopause changes the equation on many things, but here are some areas that it tends to take a bat to, if you will. The first is sleep. Sleep disturbances are by far the most reported, whether it's feeling hot flushes, whether it's night sweats, whether it's waking up constantly. Maybe it's difficulty staying asleep. Maybe you got to sleep and then something woke you up and you're having a hard time going back to sleep. Or maybe you took a bathroom break and now you just cannot get back to sleep. So these are some places where the sleep continuity shifts, cognition, hello, brain fog, hello, forgetting. So these are some things that really start to bother women because they start to think, oh my gosh, like, why can I not remember these things? Or, oh, did I say this? I don't recall saying this. And then it starts to erode self-esteem and self-trust because you're starting to think, am I going crazy? Um, Stress response. Now, the thing about stress response is it's a very subtle change from premenopause to perimenopause, but it is definitely there. And I'll tell you why it's a subtle change, and I'll tell you why it's how to know it's definitely there. So the stress response, now, if you're somebody that's in a, say, high stress job or have lots of responsibilities, have lots of things on the family calendar that you're, constantly coordinating and driving people around or whatever it is, it may not be discernible. The level of stress may not be discernible as I'm feeling more stressed out. But what's happening at the cellular level, in the body systemic level, is that as estrogen starts to leave the building, the cortisol starts to rise, which is a stress hormone. So now cortisol is like having a teenager have a party when you're out of town, okay, as a parent. So it's exactly that. It's like woohoo. So this is where it starts to feel, it starts to act on a systemic level. So the stress response becomes um, more pronounced and it starts to act on other body systems. The other place where there's changes is muscle and metabolism. So you may have heard people say, hey, my metabolism is slowing down. And I want to just shift that uh, common myth, I would call it. It's not that your metabolism is slowing down per se, but it is shifting because of these changes in hormones. Now, your muscles are the ones, your muscle is a metabolic organ, which means that the more you move, you are facilitating metabolic function. But when you slow down, like maybe you're really tired or you're just not feeling so strong, because that does happen, there is definitely changes in metabolism. Sometimes it's the food you were tolerant of, you become intolerant of. So these types of changes can create shifts in metabolism. Recovery. Um, I'm sure by this time you don't necessarily have to be a college student, but if you remember back to your college days, and even if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s, this is in the pre-menopause phase, you're still thinking, God, I don't know how I did all those things while I was in college and I slept for 3 hours and I was ready to go the next day, right? Yeah, that just doesn't work anymore. And then it just amplifies in menopause, the recovery time, because once again, when estrogen leaves the body, it declines. Um, your estrogen is very anti-inflammatory. So that's why you heal quicker when you're anywhere pre-menopause. Once you shift into perimenopause, that anti-inflammatory is on the decline, which means that inflammation processes are taking place all over the body in every body system. Doesn't matter whether you're looking at your digestive, cardiovascular, your nervous system, your kidney functions, your pelvic organs, it doesn't matter. So these recovery times are different, are affected. So to put it all in one succinct way, your biology has changed, but the demands on your life might still be the same. And this is where the imbalance takes place. So what does it feel like when your capacity drops? It's kind of like the check engine light. Now, I know when I had a car and I had the check engine light, it would suddenly like give me a sense of fear, like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But as long as the car didn't blow up, You would drive around maybe a day or so and you try to get it to the auto shop. But the check engine light is something that we have become really accustomed to in our bodies, overriding and saying, well, I know I need some sleep, but it's going to be Friday before I can do that. All right. Or, man, I am so hungry, but I cannot do it until like this o'clock, whatever the this o'clock is. So when capacity drops in perimenopause and even through the rest of menopause, decisions take longer. They feel really, really difficult. Smaller things feel bigger. It could just be something as simple as you might have to stack your tasks or errands differently, and that just feels mountainous. Focus takes effort because of the brain changes. Your patience gets shorter. Hello, rage. uh, and irritability. I mean, it could just be a bird flew by on your left side and not your right side, and that's enough to set you off. Momentum disappears. You probably were somebody who had all this energy, and people were like, oh my gosh, you're just like a buzzing bee. You can be here and you can be there. And all of a sudden, it feels like you're now a bumblebee in molasses. Now, it doesn't take, it doesn't, and these things don't always look like exhaustion, because sometimes I think the impression of exhaustion is I am so tired, I can't do anything but fall in bed. But exhaustion is cumulative. So as it's accumulating, you may feel it, but you are still running around with this check engine light on, like you can deal with it tomorrow. So where is this capacity leak, as we call it? So disrupted sleep. So now I want you to think of it this way. Everything on this slide here is kind of, look at it like apps on your phone. Okay. Each app drains your phone battery differently. And so you're not going to see it. You don't see, you just see Facebook, or you just see your calendar, but you don't see the drain each app has on the energy of your phone. So here are the things that are draining your energy. One is disrupted sleep. In the background on your brain, along with the brain fog and the irritability, that disrupted sleep is affecting brain function. It is draining the battery. Any mental load, the mental load that you have, whether it's, sometimes responsibilities increase in the same years as perimenopause or postmenopause take place. And that is maybe kids leaving for college, caregiving of parents, aging parents, or caregiving of spouses. Um, Sometimes it's a caregiving of a child. Maybe you have a special needs child and you've been able to manage, but now because of this whole shift in your health, this becomes an increased load. Chronic stress, we just talked about that. So under fueling, this is really important. Your nutrition needs change completely during menopause. And I know that from my own experience, when I had to learn how to eat, and I'm a functional medicine health coach, and I had all the healthy eating habits. But when I had to shift to menopause nutrition, I was like, but I am doing it. What do you mean I'm under fueling? And so it is a huge shift, and it does require some guidance and to make sure that you are not under fueling it. And I will tell you that the things that got you through pre-menopause will not get you through menopause. Under recovery, under recovery. So anytime you are not sleeping to what your body needs, if you are not doing your exercises, if you are even how food affects you, you are under recovering. And too many demands that you thought you could handle, but they are now behind the scenes draining you. So how do you rebuild your capacity? So these are the things where you can start to recharge, if you will. sleep, learning how to sleep. So these are the learn how to do this in perimenopause and postmenopause. So when you learn how to do these, and this is not like you have to take a big course in sleep, but you do have to make these shifts in order to rebuild that capacity. So, for example, sleep. Maybe now you think, hey, if I get to sleep by midnight, I'm good. I can still get up at 6. But what if you tried, and this is where your brain and your lifestyle are going to fight you tooth and nail. What if you do go to bed at 10? And I've heard women say, well, I can't get to sleep, or I'm going to wake up at 4 o'clock, or yeah, you will in the beginning, but just like anything, your brain is really trainable. So sleep is a brain function. You could train your brain to sleep for whatever it needs. And so it's a matter of learning where the deficiency is and making sure you take care of that. Nourishment, as I mentioned, menopause nutrition, very different. You just have to learn how to make the shifts, stay the course, and then it sort of becomes normal. Strength, you have to build strength with strength training. So I still hear women in their 50s coming to me and telling me how much cardio they did. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, that's good, but it's not going to really help you. Because in this phase, the building of strength is going to take you through the whole life stage. So think later decades as well. And movement, same way. Um, Reducing your load. Reducing your load means rearrange your apps or delete the apps. Whatever is causing you extra load, now is the time to start decluttering, taking them out, saying, I no longer am available for, so that you can do the next thing, which is the recovery. You can put more of your energy towards recharging. So you don't have to fix everything. You don't need 12 new apps and 12 new habits and 12 new podcasts or YouTube videos. You just need to find the one thing in the moment that's creating the drain. Okay, so you can do that by asking these questions. What is draining me at the moment? Is it that I didn't get sleep last night? Is it that I'm hungry? Maybe I missed a workout. Uh, so what is draining me right now and what would restore me right now? Is it a nap? Maybe you go out for a walk. Maybe you do strength training tomorrow, but you get something in today. Maybe you squat, do some planks, do some push-ups, whatever is accessible to you. And what am I repeatedly overriding? So where are you ignoring that check engine that's coming on? So that needs to be addressed. So if you can just do this part, it just breaks things down and gives it to you in the moment. We're not building Rome. We're just trying to find the right blocks. All right. And you'll know when capacity is returning because your energy, once again, when you take off those apps from your phone, all of a sudden your phone's running better. So you're going to be the same way. When you adjust these things, you are going to find your energy becomes more reliable, thinking and decisions become clearer. You start to recover from things a little faster. Small things don't knock you off and make you feel like you have to move a mountain, and you have more of yourself available for you and those around you. So start paying attention. The most important thing I can tell you is that this life stage can hold more peace, joy, and more of your potential. And that is, my friends, what I have for you today.
Uh, that was very rich.
Well, great.
Yeah.
So if any of you guys have any questions or something that came up that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear that. In the meantime, I am going to put some links in the chat. So you can add
Oh,
when you send them out to the participants or whoever it is you're sending it to.
yeah, we will put it in the show notes
Yeah.
with that. But I love the idea I don't love the idea. I love the awareness of overriding. And there's almost a little bit of virtue in it.
Mm, yes.
It's like, And I know when I was younger, it was a brag point for a lot of
Yeah,
people. Boy,
yeah.
you only got 6 hours? I only got 5 hours. You know, and
Right.
like there's virtue in that. And of course, that's completely stinking thinking. But can you say more about menopause nutrition? That was an intriguing thought.
Yeah. So, the biggest shifts, there are two really big shifts from, well, three really big shifts that I would say are really at the forefront. One is the increase in the intake of protein. So, essentially, we're looking at 30 to 35 grams of protein at each meal, assuming a 3 meal day. Okay. And if you don't have a 3 meal day, it is getting that same amount of protein in whatever it is, like, because some people want to just have 2 meals, and that's okay. Some people want to have 1 meal, but the protein is the protein. So, however you get that in, some of it may be in liquid form, some of it may be in solid form. um, that is going to be the biggest shift because I remember when I had to shift and I was like, oh my God, I ate my protein. God, is that not enough? What do you mean I only ate half? So understanding what does 30 grams of protein look like in different foods, right?
Mm.
'Cause a piece of chicken breast does not look like beans, but they each have the kind of protein that you need. The second is getting about 30 grams of fiber. Fiber is not the highest intake in the American diet to start with, and it becomes all the more important in digestive health in the menopause years. And the last one that I would say, if I were to just say, okay, three top ones, is hydration. We are constantly walking around like beef jerky because we are so dehydrated. Okay. And it really matters, and you can see because we don't realize how many body functions that we don't see rely on the hydration we need. And this is, I mean, stress is your biggest depleter, really, of because your organs are working harder to manage the stress, and now you're dehydrated, and now they're having to work against deficient water. So or deficient hydration. So there's that. So yeah, but the upping and the stabilizing of that is, I know for someone who eats really well, I was like, well, what do you mean? I am eating it, but it was really underfueling. I was so underfueled. Yeah.
You make such a good point about the need for hydration and things we don't think about, like respiration requires hydration. And so it really is all the systems taking it to the kneecap when we don't stay hydrated.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it also is the irritability and the loss of energy. I mean, simple things like hydration can, immediately, it's like, think about it. If you put water in your plants, what happens to them? They kind of stop wilting. So it's very much that. Yeah.
That's, yeah, good to be reminded.
Yeah.
Sure, for
Uh,
sure.
and and also, you can see the direct effects, which I think is also what creates the small wins right away. You can directly see how your mood changes, how your energy stabilizes, how you, when you follow the protocols that I just mentioned, there are, some more, we could do a whole class on that, but when you can just do a little bit of this is um you can see the changes immediately. The body responds, and those are some quick wins right away.
And it's good to have those when you're making any kind of change because that becomes your momentum.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Ah, Marelda, you are a wise teacher indeed. And we thank you so much for being here. I know you put it in the notes, but would you just like to speak some contact information for anybody who might just be listening?
Absolutely. So one of the things I wanted to share is it's an online decision-making experience, and it is called my Midlife Compass. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, God, I don't even know which one of these I should even start with, go to the Midlife Compass. It will take you through some decision-making statements, and it will give you a report at the end as to what to just even start this week or in the next 30 days, or where you should go in the next 6 months, or what that could look like for you. Um, the other ways are to connect with me. So if you are someone that is on LinkedIn, you can certainly find me on LinkedIn. And if you need to send me a message, that's a great place to send it. Or if you need to send me a message, I've also included my best email address to reach me.
Great. Wonderful. Well, Marelda, thank you. Thank you, Teresa and Gail. And for all watching, thanks for spending this time with us. So whether you are here live or watching the recording, we invite you to drop your questions and thoughts in the comments. And P.S. If you haven't yet joined Thrive Park, our online community where women over 50 go to grow, glow, and connect, we'll pop that link too. And there inside Thrive Park, you will see a recording of today's episode with Marelda. So thanks again, all, and bye for now.
Thank you.